From New Englandville Studios, good morning and welcome to the second edition of the program Good Morning Salon for this week, where they come to you from the Society for Radio Democracy 98.1 FM. Today na Tuesday, August 4th, 2020. We will bring the program come to you this Tuesday morning. My name na Khadija Bangura.
And Mina Mabel Kaba, good morning. Inside this Tuesday edition of the program Good Morning Salon, President Biodo asked the new Minister of Mines and Mineral Resources, Timothy Kaba, for bring the ministry together and gather more money for implement government program them. The Minister of Energy, Alhaji Kanja Sise, say the 415 kVA transformer where the ministry and them partner they don't put na Leicester Peak go tap the challenge where different media hosts and community people be done to get pan light business. And at the program this morning, the Minister of Basic and Senior Secondary Education, Dr. David Senge, go talk about the 2020 National Primary School exam we picking and take yesterday and other developments we don't been at the ministry.
Well, this and plenty other story, them then at the program for you this Tuesday morning, plus the Deputy Ambassador for the European Union delegation at Salon, Matt Liljefeld, say, then glad the way Salon Parliament don't make transparency, accountability, and oversight they part of the work as important body on governance business na Salon. Members say they listen to it live on www.radiodemocracy.sl, courtesy of Osiwa and powered by AfriCell. And self they listen to we live from Radio Shalom 89.5 na Kwenadugu, Radio Maleng 88.5, and Radio 1J 101.1 na Pujon District, Radio Kolenten 90.5 na Cambia, Radio Moa 105.5 na Kailaon District, and Voice of Karine 98.0 na Karine District. All them partner radio station are the link we live, and they make this program they reach and then different parts in the country. We want to say many thanks to we colleague them within at the different radio station and the program na Good Morning Salon. Send we message on 077 981 981, or if they watch me live now Facebook page, drop your question, make you comment on any of the issues them where they can discuss na the program this morning. Well, as you hear from one power headline them today na the studio we get the Minister of Basic and Senior Secondary School Education, when Dr. David Monina Senge, we go can talk about the 2020 National Primary School Exam and other developments then we don't happen at the ministry this being term. Good morning, Doc, and welcome to the program. Good morning, Salon.
Thank you. Good morning.
All right, continue for the week. We'll join you shortly.
The first issue we'll look at the program this Tuesday morning, as President Bio announced a statistics salon for do midterm census inside December this year. The Chief Executive Officer for Disability Confidential Salon, Honorable Julius Kofi, don't call on statistics salon for use the midterm census where then go all for know the number of disabled people them waiting at the country so that governments go able for help them when they plan for development. Well, Princess Pierce be they inside one press conference where he called for updates the media on this issue, and he explained more to them inside this interview.
The President, retired Brigadier Julius Marabio, been declare a midterm census we concerned about, and this midterm census will be conducted by the body we responsible when our statistics area. So now that make we been pull a press release on that.
So, within the concern, we will not get concern in this census. We will start inside December.
Disability development, it depends on data. It also depends on demography. And for the government to be informed on policies and allocation of resources and implementation of them policies there, we get to know the actual number of disabled people within the country. Statistics will not be involve disabled people happen. We need to know how many disabled people in this country. Not only that, how many go university, we get university education, how many get high school education, and how many get primary school education. How many disabled people they work with gainfully employed, how many when are skills training knowledge they get, and the one that will not work. For capture all them data, so you need the disabled people themselves for big parts. Not only as the one that within the count, but as enumerators. Look at the free quality education. How many people when are blind within our institutions we go need braille? How many when are deaf we go need special appurtenances, special instruments them for enhance the hearing within in a school or college? These are issues where na data go able capture, and the only statutory body we go do that in statistics alone.
Around this mid census way for start December, we don't see a lot of issues don't they come up, concern don't they come up with gap and other things them we then say be been at the last census. So with this concern we raise, you think say now one of the gap then this with the last census we get?
Absolutely, I think so. If you look at the data of the last census, it not capture specific data of persons with disabilities, the different strata of disabled, waiting na them disability, and whether they get the requisite education for survive independently, and whether they get the special skills where they need for survive as skills traders. These are issues where the last census not capture. And there was a hue and cry from the disabled persons community after the last census that even the figures put out by statistics alone, the population of the disabled person around the country, they pass that. So these are issues where we normally come up in this particular census where they come.
So with this drive where you push for make and we know the actual number of disabled people within the country, you think say that's now one way for one to make like government will able to put a better development plan for the disabled community?
Absolutely. Data collection, it inform government in terms of planning, policy formulation and implementation. But putting the way the government will able to do from an informed position with a better statistics. And this census may feel say okay with regards to that. And them numbers and the government will use for allocate resources to the commission, for instance, the Disabled Persons Commission of this midterm housing and population centers.
Okay, so how now for be involved in the process?
Yes, we can involve both at the advisory or technical committee stage, and we involve in the planning. Let we give your own technical advice with regards to disability development and how the census will impact to it positively.
Well, that's at the Chief Executive Officer for Disability Confidential Salon, when Honorable Julius Kofi be talk to Princess Piazada interview side the call on statistics salon for involved disabled people na the midterm census will go be inside December this year.
We continue with the program, Good Morning Salon, where they come to you from the Society for Radio Democracy, 98.1 FM, 077-981-981. Now the number for send you message, and yourself go be part of the program this morning. Well, if people can remember, some months back, word will been come out from the Ministry of Basic and Senior Secondary Education at that. Then they open school back for picking them within an exam class, although the coronavirus still in the country. And this being term, the ministry be same way so pull word say the national primary school exam for all yesterday when I be August 3rd. We make picking them all over the country been go take this exam. Well, for can't give you updates, but waiting come out from the exam, some of the things them where the ministry fair not. One more time I want to welcome the Minister of Basic and Senior Secondary Education, Dr. David Senge, at the studio. Good morning, Dr. Senge, one more time.
Thank you. Good morning.
All right. Yesterday, picking them all over the country with the class 6 being go out and sit the national primary school exams. And I believe, say, as a minister, yourself been go around some school them and other ministry will command them within some part of the country them for observe, waiting at some of the things them will be happen during the exam. As we all know, this not to normal times, not to lecture day, how the exam them be day. Just start for the update to listeners. They wait at some of the things they want to find out.
Yeah, thank you. Firstly, I want to tell thank you to all the parents that we support the turnout for the school reopening. In many places, they're over 90%, and for some schools, and even from day one, all man don't show up. So I want to tell thank you to the Fambulian. We believe in government and allow for sending picking them even with the fairs I want to tell thank you to the teacher then and the head teacher then and everybody will show up again with the uncertainty and the risk. And I want to tell thank you to WAEC because then show say then an institution where they on a transformational path and with the conduct of the exam. And my team, where they all side, then go all side across this country and we get updates in real time. We get about 144,000 people and we show up. And maybe I want to talk about the challenges and what's in the lead up to the challenges there and how we resolve them. Firstly, we get close to 1,000 people then we show up for take exam with the name not being in the register. And we not turn anybody back. If your name not in the register, we take details of that day. And there are many valid reasons we make the name not in the register. Sometimes because now electronic registration what they do, the head teacher will be there, they not register properly, the beginner been there, many reasons. But we take them all, we accommodate. I think we accommodate anybody we can. So you get cases where people then they say, my name not the day, and little hala hala. There are reasons why I make the name not the day. But they're all accommodated. We find out, say, so I go now, for example, Waterloo, one of the largest centers, been over 1,000 candidates. One school been there, and school maybe less than 20, about 20 pupils from that school. Then Scannables, the one with the name then the PAM, not go there, go to other center. But the DD will be there on site and allow, say, the beginning for take exam and then take record of that. So, and depending on the site, some school and they will get will not meet the social distancing rules, but then they're not plenty. Then they actually not plenty. And the conversation with the principal then that the exam this year better pass always them on the seat because in the way we force them to do social distancing, and that gave a lot more space for the beginning for focus. And I think it being also customized. So in my visit, I see two beginning with sick, and that's so corona people then afraid and they begin to rub or they get fever. In the past, and people then go holla upon them, boy, you accident and you're not afraid, you're afraid. But this time, all my actually supportive and empathetic because we've been down say if Pekin sick, would they put extra room for her? And someday we're able to take the exam for multiple other reasons. And then the main other challenge now that in rural areas, and I see people Baku video then they show we Pekin then they walk out on the rain. Now we get close to 4,000 schools then we register, but we only get about slightly over 300 center there, including Nagini, because Salon people in Nagini will provide this MPSC for. The reason for that, now if you didn't chiefdom or village where na 10 picking and they take exam, why you cannot go give exam center there? In the ideal world, we say security day, safety day, power day, logistics day. All man they take exam outside there, but not to that world day we did in that salon. And we don't add more exam centers over the last year for accommodate down there. So the reason we get limited exam center now for allow for logistics, so why go coordinate properly, for provide security such that the examination could go under credible scenario and situation. And so you get picking then we get with the worker long distances. And this is not one of the challenges about rural education. This is one of the challenges that we try to solve. But you get different ways for interact with them there. We see some DD there. We use government bus, school bus for transport, speaking them back and forth. So inside the Motkana, the road now, the bus not go able to go there. And me own frustration actually now that you get people then you walk now for go show. You see now this they walk, people then they walk out. And in one panel video then the motorbike tinapo, the person with the video, you see motorbike with the picking and now say, then pick here then they walk out and picking and make her take me motorbike or make people then go put fuel inside. All the communities then get motorcar, then get motorbike. So but we see other community with civic responsibility actually increase. So now a balance of how citizens then they respond for supporting them, picking them, for glad for them, because this is a really important time, and also then they meet government as well.
So, Mr. Minister, let me start for look at the first challenge we talk about. We una fair not, we get for do it. Picking and we go na some centers and but name not been there, the name not been there. At the end of the day, you still not allow them for seats. How, as a country, we reach to that situation, taking into consideration, before you dey sit the national primary school exam, then they give index number to people. How we reach that?
I think because we will think about data before being very different. Now one of the activity then if Corona had been can will be for don't test in the western area. Now that so for don't do biometric for every picking where they take MPSC, we know they work with FCC for implements and the in that western area. My goal now for doing nationally. And actually, for the annual school census this year, for senior secondary school, one of my objectives to my team then are for bring tablets to every senior secondary school so they get the data in real time. So we reached there because before we never been care about data, the camera will care about data today. And most of this being manual. And I say this time in electronic registration. So if you meet head teacher, we know we are una back this una machine business. If you not embrace her, it means say it likely for me speaking then.
But them picking away been seats so been get index number.
Yes, also the thing about and the way the YX system they working with the monitoring. If anomaly there, then the writer say waiting at the anomaly, then the write waiting at the observation. So every case, every exam candidate, whether it been get number, whether a name correct or not correct, whether all get information within the rights and they use that during the reviews. So we get there because we now they think about we not been they think about data the way they think about data today, and not just the process. Hopefully in a year or two, this not will happen again.
All right. Also, they continue for discuss some of the challenges then we, according to you, you'll be able to identify yesterday during the time when they're picking their ability to take the exam. There's this picture, I don't know if you don't see, I'm been broke out on the social media yesterday of a small boy where, according to the story, he can't get accident on the way to the exam hall. He able to forget first aid, but he being able to go sit down and take an exam. As a Minister of Education, you think, say, that action they be appropriate?
Firstly, I want for share me condolences to the family. We lost them Peking. There's nothing worse than you don't invest in your Peking at this moment. MPSC in a moment of celebration, really, for many people. Man, they get them best to best, new uniform, new, and you lost your Peking on that day. There's nothing worse than that. So. The mother we all and a difficult story. There are different views about waiting that picture they represent, including in with senior management. So they talk about this. There are people we believe say this not an act of the act of determination, the fact that this picking being get for grieve na host anyway, the fact say waiting down be the facts and then people then they focus on the determination and the resilience and the strength of the picking and the support system. There are also other people with them views also valid. We say look, the psychological impact of this, the impact of the other picking within the classroom where they see then comping get blood and bandage, the fact say this picking in not able to make another give consent, in mind at this point traumatized, the person don't die or two people then actually I think die, and these are views of people and on either way. And
So
if
we
you
then
think about
views then day, Mr. Minister, you think say it be appropriate for whoever the invigilator will be there at that time for allow him at the exam hall with all that the condition where it be there on?
I think if you think about this, if you try to empathize with the invigilator, with the person where they with the Peking, as in they make that decision they not get the privilege of hindsight. We'll get now for sit down and say, actually, this Peking I get continuous assessment. If you not been take that exam survey, the ministry go tell them go now the school we want for go. Um, actually, if this Peking the primary thing that will focus on in health at that point, for make sure say focus on the ecosystem. The decision makers at that point no then they go with the fact say all things they happen at the same time, the other picking the need for be safe, the adrenaline with it in the system. And so I don't think say a fear for judge than decisions in hindsight at this point. But waiting me go get for say now that as a ministry we dey look at the impact of the transition exams and the value and the intensity and the role where they play. The role where, first of all, every picking guarantee 9 years of basic education. And so for transition from primary to junior secondary, not just part it really for the equivalent to you come up class 4, go class 5. So if not being you exam with it, you come up class 4, go class 5. If you not being for make that decision then you not for make the decision just because not class 6 exam. To in terms of the learning outcomes. But the importance of the MPSC as a day-to-day, where we they look at now that nine they determine which secondary school you go and secondary school where you go they determine so many things, is that the value where we've been done placed on transition exams so big and so they're out of touch with what we want from more picking and do that people then they make decisions we necessarily not optimized for the overall well-being of the picking then. And so moving into the future, one part the work the way we did do at the ministry, and we just launched 2 framework. We get the basic education framework. We actually they focus on this, and then we get a civic education framework. What they do with NACSI, then some researcher then from Yale. We also they touch on this.
All right, continue for the between the program. We'll come back to you, Dr. David Senge, Minister of Basic and Senior Secondary Education. We'll continue the program Good Morning Salon, 7:53, and the time from studio clock. We'll look at more issues them inside the program this morning. Some Comra and school invigilator them na Freetown. Don't say them gladly. We plenty challenge them not been there this year national primary school exam compared to the other year them. Then people here say the exam paper them been come on time and safe picking them not been staying forget sitting them where government be provide for the exam. Musa Kamara and Usman Kamara been go na the street of Freetown and put these reports together.
The MPSC exam just and I can talk to parents and teachers them, also invigilators them, as of what they observe now this year's NPSC exam in terms of challenge and recommendation and self, what they think say the government need for improve upon or what they need for maintain inside the NPSC exam. And I meet with some of them who say then tell me what they found out so far this year exam.
I'm Mrs. Thomas from Tawail Kindergarten. I'm the school warden. Well, it was nice. I didn't get any problem with them.
Let's look at the side of the COVID measures them. How we been like?
No, everybody was with their masks and they were spaced. Today it was okay. No delay.
The observation I see today and the MPSC look nice. And one, and number 2, things being in place. Everything will go smoothly, like we not see like spite, will not be the happen and also the atmosphere will look good for the beginning. I pray that the government and you give more degrees for the beginning. But the only thing more, I believe that because of Corona, pandemic and I believe say he extend this year so to this time year so let me. But the government from through the time because of Corona, they can't sit inside August. They don't postpone the exam and say that need to make it affect Pikine because Pikine don't prepare for the exam. But because of the Corona, they postpone. So that never can affect the Pikine. So I debate the government. Anytime no way put for say this for the exam, no postpone them, except otherwise.
Mrs. Rachel Parker, acting principal St. Joseph's Junior Secondary School.
Okay, whose role you play on this NPSC?
When are the supervisor for the school?
Okay, supervisor for the school, NPSC exam just done. As a supervisor, what do you observe on this year's NPSC?
Well, we observe say the Pikin them be excited and glad when they done, they jump because they not feel say it will happen, especially with this COVID-19 pandemic where they in the country. So the Pikin them be don't eager. So when they're done, if you see where they jump, because they feel say it not going to happen. But we'll tell government thank you where it allow this exam for go on.
Okay, now we look at the challenge them where plans happened the past years them. When you look at this year, what not be the challenge na the exam?
Well, like last year when they come, then they turn up the line, we call their name, then they go. But this trip here when they come, they just wash their hands. And we call the EDEC numbers, then go find the classrooms. Then this year we therefore make sure say we get boku buckets then they wash their hand, they go in a class. And previous years, now 50 per class, but because of this social distancing, now 30 we get for take. So we use more classrooms and we use more teachers than the previous years. And as the minister can really observe and himself look bloody because this exam take place. So government, at least we tell them thank you and try. For pandemic day, they take this kind of exams, the begin to wash their hand, and we don't get any case.
Mrs. Augusta Davis, acting principal, Albert Academy JSS. We been get tension this morning as it can always be, because we've been ready for the exam, we'll meet up the time so that everything will be done. But as we see everything be done successfully, we not get any issue of concern. Everything be done. We adhere to all the protocols, to all the measures, preventive measures, everything. We get enough spaces now. We rooms them for accommodate the candidates. Then we space them well. We observe social distancing. We observe. They wear masks. Yeah, 16 schools sit under this school, this center in a 201. Anything at preparation, because we're just glad the way WAEC handled the oath process this year. The documents, they all come on time. We don't check through, get with team.
Mina Sulaiman Ahmed Bagua. Mina teacher from Big Waf Women Primary School. We try as a teacher all the best follow we able look to the government with everything and say follow we go through the safety, the precaution and all that thing. We try all the best for go through the teaching. We send them for lead and can at the center for cancer. Yes, at first we not get no challenges. Although yes, then we get some challenges at verbal aptitude paper. The time not be enough. But like some other students here we can be called and scatter. So the other one they will come, they say no problem, but the other one they say time not be enough because they ring the bell for lead and start. Whilst the exam don't go through, they're not able to get access to paper they hate. They be getting challenges but the other one they then be okay for verbal aptitude. It be happy to them. Me know the inside the exam also, I don't know. But now that they say they not get the paper quick. We be lead them, they're not able to down through the question them.
Me and Auntie Christiana, the Peking can sit. Well, the exam not bad. Only that so not allow we no more go inside the compound, so we stay outside. At least we wait for them say they're off.
So from that outside waiting up, what you observe like from this year compared to other year then?
Well, this year much better because last year we understand say so Germany be can and gone be there. Them picking and they panic. Not all my used to gone, but this year I better. I not see too much like that. So thank you for that.
Whether there are some teachers, parents, and invigilators them where they talk to me instead of interview there for Seka within a final for Seka this year NPSC exam we hold Monday, August 3rd this year. From the Western partner Freeton for the Society for Radio Democracy, Musa Kamara.
Salon Commercial Bank don't come with new banking products them for make life easy with Million Online Bank. and million mobile app, you can able for use Salon Link money transfer for send money to anybody. It like you not get bank account. Transfer or receive money na the same bank or any other bank. Transfer money to person or office. It like you not get the account number. Buy Etisalat, pay other bill them, and now get advanced salary. You don't need for worry again, but almost money then you earn. Because you can able for pay for things the way you buy in a supermarket and other shop them with the quick response code payment. Yagbadon done for we boss man them. With Beyond Online Direct, you can upload salary, pay all your supplier them, sell forex to Salon Commercial Bank, and watch your account anytime. If you need the app, download them from Google Play Store or any Apple Store, or go to Salon Commercial Bank website www.slcb.com. Sierra Leone Commercial Bank, delivering value.
Commercial Bank.
I swear for help people the way they do small thing for survive, and then one the way they run place like cinema all for manage their life during COVID-19.
The Anti-Corruption Commission get what say people they go around a Kambulto area na Watalo they take money na people in hand, especially women them for register they forget about 1.5 to 2 million loans.
The Anti-Corruption Commission will make all man know say the money where World Bank and government of Salon they give for help people and then tell me now 1,309,000 loans.
If anybody ask you for money for register you, or if you been don't give money to anybody back, call ACC na 515 or report na the police station where they near you.
Make sure say you not give penny to anybody for register you for get money where World Bank and government of Salon give for help people them during this COVID-19 sick. This message come out from the Anti-Corruption Commission with support from World Bank.
Corruption. 2 minutes after 8, and the time from the studio clock, and the program is still listening to now. Good Morning Salon. We still get the Minister of Basic and Senior Secondary Education now the studio this morning, where Dr. David Senge there this morning. They give you updates on the 2020 National Primary School exam. We're picking them take across the country yesterday. We don't talk about challenges them where you say on a team notes during the exams them, and before we take that commercial break, we will also listen to some heads of school where be invigilators now the exam, and have some kumbra them we tell we listeners them about how they feel and think about this year National Primary School exam, where they give credit to the team we put the whole exam together, because overall according to it then tell we now that then satisfy compared to other year them na the exam, but concern come again with timing and all for some of the picking them where they say not being able for complete the work because of timing. But taking into consideration the COVID-19 within the country, we make the exam itself, not to this time they can take them for, we don't take them inside me and all. And self how they complete the syllabus and all of that. Now challenge them where people and we don't discuss from where the beginning go take the exam. As a ministry, what do they expect in terms of performance, taking into consideration the long break where the beginning we don't do, and more or less somebody not be there like for monitor, because some kumbra them not there around for monitoring and ensure see them picking and be the study na us during this period.
So firstly, that the difference between perception and reality. We actually add 5 minutes per the exam there. Like officially, the time we then need for take exam this year been longer than and then because the head of NACOT, the National Association of head teachers, the head teacher then asks say more our time, and so we add 5 minutes. So the timing actually, I guess now. In terms of which I feel, I actually think Student will do better this year. And and I've been on the talk this. Maybe for MPSC, I think Student will do better. I think there are many things we do. We make I get this kind of confidence. Yeah, Student will do better. One, just over the last year, we've been on the run a program, the Education Innovation Challenge. Right, so a very small subset of schools, but the general feeling about education over the last year been positive, and that positive vibes they affect how people they prepare and how people they feel. The general motivation of teachers higher, and just the other day I go to one school because one picking can the picking can meet me in my office, and one day Sabia, you don't even know me, and say I forgo time back now in school because the teacher said may not go to school. The teacher drive on the class. So the general confidence of the picking higher. the teacher being me and the teacher engage. The so the reason we make actually also feel say then go get for do better this year. Very positive. Now because of the 1 month we didn't come back to school, we focus on teacher training. We train the teacher then. We ensure say TSC ensure say and with the ministry that teacher then get extra guides, extra learning materials for remediation. In the worst 8 performing districts, we provide physical material for support there. And some districts like Kavala and Falaba, just hearing some of the descendants then buy sets, then go get them sets, begin to eat. We provide food during this period. And where been they go school visits there. And I ask any side, like, when I don't go on the rest, all the people in the highlight, this is the Gladys. So the general consensus that they get school feeding, then get extra materials, then get teacher training, now make a feel see, then go do better. And most importantly, now about their pride and their self-assurance, then they take this exam here, no malpractice. All of these, now one great malpractice case now don't hear it so far. And then they did to ACC streets and arrested people there yesterday. And it's just incredible for say we as a people actually get the integrity and the confidence and the self-belief say in that matter. And in the video message where I sent to the Pekin the day before, it's okay if they fail. You know, this idea that the Pekin don't fail. One, governments to pay for receipts because we understand. And secondly, it always is better that you fail with pride and integrity and you emotion correct than if you go past by cheating and you're not able to do anything. And that the importance. You begin to understand so the need for put in the work and depending on the outcome we go support them.
If you say it's okay for left picking them fail as message as a minister we they send to the picking them, you take into consideration say so many resources don't be poured into the free quality education. We they send set message to picking and say okay for fail.
Yes, and then they're very important. I know they say made them fail. I want 100% pass. And in fact, one point we objective there as they go with this new curriculum, that 100% of all we picking there, they get the fundamental concepts and then go pass. I believe in excellence. My team know that and everybody. I want 100% of them pass. But if picking fail, it is okay that as a system, as a society, we know say failure. So failure at 230 or 229 or 239 or 240, depending on. And I believe so then a failure there. So and I use it okay for fail with quotes. Now that by how then they measure them, all the work then they do, all the growth we then get, and then can repeat and then take another exam. So now that we now. For add so much stress and that this is not the only way where you're able to go because if you not pass then all thing don't do. You don't make your whole family don't shame. Your family not shame. You don't go beat the pikin and say man you not eat because you not pass. So you don't remember all the support where you not give the pikin. You don't remember the sick way been sick. You don't remember say even the send on a net for me go waspan all nets and where you don't go sleep. You don't remember that day.
Mr. Minister, let I take you back to some of the things them way don't come out. Even before them picking they have been go take the exam yesterday. The coronavirus came, it disturbed them, some picking up for seasonal O's, and the ministry will just give like 1 month for let them go back to school. With all them challenges there, so una try for incorporate a new method of the marking system where get for the mark the examination papers them.
No, because standards are standards. We believe in high standards. We believe in excellence. If the correct answer is A, whether you get 2 months or 3 months, not A. But one of the reasons we make our beliefs so then go do well, now that the radio teaching program, we build online apps, but could private sector partner then again, now only for a small set of people. Exactly. Understood. And we also provide physical paper to the worst performing chiefdoms. Look, in the month and a half, we gonna know how them perform and we will go from there and see how to improve. But I absolutely believe say the good support of the teacher, the high feelings and the high vibes, the head teachers, the really head teacher then we talk, the the radio teaching program, the training where TSC and the ministry provide, the extra support, all of that, they make, I believe, say at the beginning do well.
Yesterday exam, Mr. Minister, it been show a lot of things them where I go say no they happen right it na the primary school education system. One na the issues of chairs and tables them where some picking they will be going to the hall they not been get we not be challenge for them we make some school they not even start the term when them be supposed for start. Going forward as a ministry with all anything there so this exam don't show you as a minister say this not the happen right it waiting on the next plan.
For accelerate towards delivering free quality school education. I think in the recent Afrobarometer survey we come out, about 74% of people then say governments they do well with free quality school education. Our man knows the government they do well, not to feel. Then for see government to do well because education that we only hope. So than one of the highest ever. But I want for maybe 90%, 100% of people then for believe than they. In your internal survey with the situation room, 91% of school let me say they're ready for open. Because we give them notice 2 weeks in advance, we give them training, we give them then they for be 100%. I think say with regards to furniture, and actually I get a meeting today about furniture because with the EU program with the build a lot of furnitures and some of the local council and they can engage with. As a ministry, we responsibility involve access, we responsibility involve quality, we responsibility involve teaching and training and materials. And as a government includes the people then where they make policy, when are we? It includes the mama and papa then way for sending them in at school. It includes the alumni. It includes the civil society. It includes we all. And I think, say, the biggest transformation in education, first of all, now the FQSC, President Bio in free quality school education. But then they go only achieve and reach Usai Igwebu reach, where we as citizens accept, say, we only hope now for transformed Salone through education. And then they not by how we feel, then not by what we do. Then they not by where people then in the beginning actually get together and go lay block for have zero makeshift schools. So one part it's in the way I believe say as a country we for do. You get in school then we na Bafa and if rain they can all man they go to na makeshift schools. I believe say there should be zero makeshift schools in this country.
That brings me to the question, say, from all way to una not yesterday, with the introduction of a new technology for take data in our schools, the way you say una do this year. Waiting different, you not say, like what can say, if I be no, this we don't do it differently for let this exam be a success. Waiting you notice.
This exam have been excellent success. Firstly, I mean, if you talk to WAEC or if you talk to principal and everybody, then no one they see exam like this. Not to me say.
So you're not fair, not anything.
No. I just want for we get. I've been start for talk about challenges. I would just want to categorically say the exam now overwhelming success, and I thank you to all my way involved.
Well, success they come after the results. But let we just look at
the conduct of the exam, the lead up, the planning, the detail,
right.
Success. And with the challenges that we did there, if we've been there and we remove Corona, mostly Corona not been there. I think now that we for them ensure say one primary objectives, one objectives then that picking them we show up with the name now correct or the name is not register, we for resolve that day. So if we say all man where they go to now, where they take the exam, the name did it, then paper goes and then paper they then they absolutely. A bit disappointed that people then still cheat, or that this one school year, I've been one for really maybe say nobody not cheat, like we go, and this now MPSC, we wait for WAS and Beke. And so we look now for see, actually, with this exam center, now Falaba, about Falabaton, then get about 106, 109 WAS candidates there. Then they go take exam in other place and they travel for go. And last year, some of them picking and get belly. this year we bring exam center day. So we dey look for see any place we for was again not by numbers. We'll be able provide exam center so people they not go work out and go spend a lot of expenses. So we'll do that day. And then one part, the other thing we'll do this year as well now that not to all man as you say, poverty day, poverty is real. And even the simple 2B pencil self being where you feel say all man will get 2B, not all man get 2B.
But then we ask some of the pikin they yesterday not for use the 2B pencils them with them parents then give them prefer the all the ministry they supply to them.
I know news to me, but if 2B not 2B, if you get at least then use pencil. So whether or not then people then give them or not make governments give them secondary. Right. All man get 2B. So which are the look and are the hope for into the next exam. Now for really invite the alumni association there, and they invite and the alumni then they with them boku. We much past the night, all man they show up. So they invite the alumni there, made them support them, even with much past now they made them gather, ensure see the exam center within school, picking them they go take exam, get the right appropriate material so that the picking will get the best shot at passing the exam. That day we'll do that differently. We'll not do that this year.
All right, David, Dr. Senge, we will come back to you. We will continue the program. Good morning, Salon. 60 minutes past the hour, 8 o'clock. Now the time for most of the o'clock. Will they take this short commercial break?
Better don't come, better don't come. Now Union Trust Bank again. Union Salon Banco. Union Trust Bank get plenty product and service there for you. You must get what you want to go better. Like we savings account, ide. Current account, ide. Fixed deposit account, ide. Credit facility, ide. All for you. Me and you. Union Trust Bank, that's a loan for me and you. Kids future savings account, ide. School fee savings account, ide. Pay advance salary scheme there. We branch and they all up but not alone. Boko no kenema, we dey. Kabala mabogo kakambia, we dey. Jala free town loan sa, we dey. And my 91, me and you. Union Trust Bank, me and you. Union Trust Bank, Union Trust Bank, na salona for me and you. Union Salon Banco. Union Trust Bank.
Union Trust Bank, empowering Sierra Leonean businesses.
Patiently she's walking down the road. What are they running?
Honey, what you go do now for this pikin so? Usa go care and go. Because Mr. Musa don't police speaking for week pata.
Just no worry about that. Now that make the Ministry of Gender and Children's Affairs don't set up the one-stop center. This center na side where you go, where they don't rape you, where you go get all the service them, where you forget. And if you're not able to reach there, you can call na 116 line from any mobile network where you get.
Mina Honorable Manti Tarawali, Mina the Minister for Gender and Children's Affairs. The Ministry of Gender and Children's Affairs, now get a mandate for tap read. Now for that reason we don't put the 116 hotline. That line they open 24 hours and it's free from all mobile network. Anybody experience rape or any sexual violence, call 116 immediately.
So now wait, as they rape you or they rape you pikin, take a 110 at the one-stop center. We get office then at Putloko, Koinadugu, Kailaung, Pujeung, Moyamba, and Western area.
Now the Ministry of Gender and Children's Affairs bring this message to you.
The program Good Morning Salon, they continue and we look at other issues of the program now, and we're going to State House. Outside the new Minister of Mines, Timothy Kaba, and in Deputy Anne-Marie Baby Hardin been taken out of office yesterday before President Bio. Outside President Julius Maada Bio asked them for bring the ministry together and serve where it say go make them gather more money for implement development program them. Waniga Ojagemo and go report.
I have the honor
as Secretary to the Cabinet and Head of the Civil Service to present these distinguished compatriots to you, sir, to subscribe to the oath of office as follows.
Voice of the Secretary to Cabinet and Head of Civil Service, John Sumaila, where he be the swear in the new Minister of Mines and Mineral Resources, Timothy Kaba, and in Deputy Anne-Marie Baby Adin. Where they may take oath before the President, the new Minister of Mines and Mineral Resources, Timothy Kaba, say he go make sure say he work well with him deputy and get good relationship with him workman them, so that they will work together and boost the sector for attract investor them.
Like I said, I'm that generation that was ushered into the war in this country, where mineral resources fueled the war that decimated our formative years. So I'm always compelled by this history that the governance of our natural resources must always be gotten right. Your Excellency, I have demonstrated leadership working with my team. Today I feel so proud that some of my staff members have made it to this hall to celebrate yet this challenging and new appointment. Your Excellency, I have been interfacing with my deputy, and we have hearsay that the Ministry of Mines has come across to being a very problematic ministry. But I want to assure you that with your continuous leadership and support to my leadership and to the government of this country, we will try our level best to work with the staff that will be inheriting, to work with the new ones that will join us, to make sure that a new direction manifesto of harnessing our natural resources for the betterment of this nation is announced.
After the Minister of Mines and in Deputy be don't take oath, the President, Dr. Julius Madabio, be ask them for bring the ministry together, we go make government gather more money for implement development program them.
Ministry is an extremely important ministry to government and to this nation, and we hope that you are going to do your best to sanitize the ministry as it has been struggling for a very long time. We want all the revenue to be able to fulfill our promises, especially our social programs, and we depend quite a lot on this sector. So I hope you will take your time to deep dive to really understand the underlying challenges that the sector faces and to do your best. I expect a strong working relationship between yourself and your deputy, and I hope that clarifications will be made from the very first day so that there is synergy. You need to work together to be able to achieve the goals that we require of you.
The President end up say he go give them all the support where they need for achieve them goal them at the sector. For Radio Democracy, me Nawani Gauja.
All right, we will continue with the program. Good Morning Salon, where they come to you from the Society for Radio Democracy 98.1 FM. We go now on a court inside the first session of the sexual offense court. Inside one panel, judge them we get for the look inside in case here. Justice Alhaji Momoja Stevens don't assure the public say he go give fair trial inside the sexual penetration case them where he gets for the look inside. We caught reporter Usman Kamara gets more and he go now report.
For you where they listen and not they see how the special sexual offenses court stand like, this court gets camera, 2 plasma, mic, speaker, and curtain. Outside the victim they sit down and explain, but waiting happen between you and the accused so that they no go panic. The accused instead get in your side for sit down, and lawyer, journalists and other people where they can at this court, they see the accused in face from outside and sit down. 2 clerk, now in there at this court, and a 8 judge them get for sit down inside and different sexual penetration matter here. Justice Alhaji Momoja Stevens, now the first judge, we don't sit down at this court and begin look inside sexual penetration case them. Alpha Fofana and Musa Kamara, now the first accused people them, wait him up na this court because police allege say inside different dates them, they accuse people here, me do mommy and daddy business with gal pikin, we not 18 years and 8. As the judge been the look inside and case here, the Chief Justice, Desmond Babatunde Edwards, been come inside and observe for see how this court they carry on. During the term, where the accused people here be appear at the Sexual Offences Court, witness nominee we make Justice Alhaji Momojan Stevens be adjourn this case and other case them to August 5 this year and ask the state prosecutor, lawyer JB Kamara, for bring all the witness them inside the next adjourn date so that it go look inside the case here quick one and give justice to who that forget am and end up assure the public say it go give fair trial to all accused people we go appear before am for answer to sexual penetration case them. This court go continue for sit every day for see say they look inside sexual penetration case them quick one. For the Society for Radio Democracy, Mena Usman Kamara, the reports.
The program Good Morning Salon, they continue. We come over again to the Minister of Basic and Senior Secondary Education. This morning, they give updates on the NPSC we began a meeting yesterday, and we get other exams them ahead. We will come briefly look at the stage where the ministry is now. We don't talk so much about the National Primary School exam, Mr. Minister, and now let we look at the Becker. We begin them also with the Form 3. They prepare themselves now for get this exam. Who stage the ministry in terms of preparation for the exam?
Well, the WAS they come before the Becker.
The WAS.
In the sense that WAS now August 11th. They run from August 11th to the 7th. And Becker now September 14th for about 8 days. And the calendar, we now release the schedule. WAEC fully prepared. WAEC fully, will be one for done. This MPSC in a one-day exam, and then they go back and move straight for the preparation for WAS. The people then did at the country, and then they being a big hassle. And Salona one day, I don't know when last, but for recent times, so the print of paper then are out of Salon. And particularly with this COVID, yeah, so we flights up in the car and with all of that, yeah, I know the Agbawe WAEC and we and the CEO go through for make better paper than car, that's Salon. One primary priority now for make sure so we go begin printing a Salon. And it's people that always say, if you begin printing a Salon, spy go there. I say we can get integrity. Like you go be somebody where I go say you need the print this paper, I give you and you print this paper. You not take and go give brother when they take exam. It's possible for get high value integrity in this country.
Talking about the papers, then we say it now na Salon, Mr. Minister. Then two exam there so now one we don't say plenty examination malpractice can take place. We make at some point during the previous people who be there as minister, then nobody allow the paper them for come na the country for a long time because then question people also can leak it in the possession of the students them. Now then people are don't in the country for some time now. How you as a minister ensure say them well protected or not go any issues say question paper leak?
Look, I believe in responsibility and accountability. I believe in fairness and I believe in justice. And I believe say people then they do their work with credibility if you support them for doing their work. I believe in zero tolerance for malpractice and zero tolerance. So two things we'll do. Everybody signed a communique. And that communique, we see what they do. And we see the effect yesterday. But you get the Anti-Corruption Act, Section 128, I think, where they talk about organized malpractice. And you get accelerated corruption court. And Francis and the team yesterday fully respond. The minutes they read something, they respond with ACC. If you want to go prison and you want to pay 50 million, go participate in exam malpractice. We not get any allegiance to anybody with corrupt in this country. We not believe say room there for corruption and malpractice. And I believe in the independence and the efficiency of ACC for doing their work. So me not get worried. I actually not get worried. If you're not a teacher, if you're not a person, go be corrupt. ACC go deal with you with no light terms. So with WAEC restructuring and WAEC management, WAEC don't undergo a lot of changes. The previous head will be don't go, and some people in the way they also don't change. WAEC get a responsibility for conduct a credible examination. And if WAEC fail on that day, then fail we and then fail the people of Sierra Leone, then we go engage and discuss with terms. as parents, and that is back to the idea of failure. And the reasons we make people then want for cheats and that, if I not pass this once year, my future done. If I not do this. And there's also the training and quality. So I know they lose sleep over this because I want to lose sleep over how to teach and get quality. If you want to test the system, go test the system. And the system go respond.
All right.
So I know they lose sleep over that day.
All right, Dr. Senga, we'll come back to you shortly. Let me just take a quick commercial break and come back to you.
GhanaSongs.org. They causing confusion.
But this confused me, boo. Look where Uncle Nat in World Solid. Look in block them where them beat for them, where they save solid. And at the same amount of cement and sand that they use for beat me on. But look what in the happen. Me wall down for them, all the block they all don't scatter. It like say some kind magic they behind this. You want to know the magic behind this? Now the superior quality, extra strong, extra life and extra yield cement where are the use. And that's not Dangote 3X Portland limestone cement. Dangote cement are the highest grade cements at the country. When a 42.5 R grade cement, when no one day come na this country, and a one of the highest grade pan cement where you go get na the wall. Where you want your concrete, wall and block solid, use Dangote 42.5 R cement, you no go regret them. You go get Dangote 42.5 R cement na online shop and building material store na the one whole country.
Rokel Commercial Bank don't make a de waka with me bank na me phone. Rokel Commercial Bank go make you de waka with you bank na you phone. Them been come with SIM couple and now them don't increase the facility. For sure say na them na the alagba from banking business na now they don't come with SIM couple plus. They don't come with SIM couple plus. This service go allow you for send money to person where they salon anytime you want. It no matter the mobile coming where you there. As you send me go get some quick one. What's na inside salon you there? The money go reach you. It no matter if you there na the east, west, north, south. So secure then you go na Google Play Store and search for the app. SIM Couple Plus I say download them. Follow the instructions and register your device. The process no long no even reach 2 minutes. When you done the bank go send message na your phone. For confirm say na your phone number bang bang. Enjoy e-couple and more facilities. SIM Couple Plus e come for we all. You dey na city or village just na salon you dey. You e-couple go reach you there. Enter top up safe now they under the facility. With e-couple, you can cash out your money from any local commercial bank agent or branch all around the country.
All right, we continue with the program. Good morning, Salon, where they come to you from the Society for Radio Democracy, 98.1 FM. Where they bring the program come to you this Tuesday morning. My name is Khadija Bangora.
And Mabel Kaba.
We still get the Minister of Basic and Senior Secondary Education at the studio, Dr. David Moina Senge, as we talk about the outcome of the yesterday NPSC exam and also the Beke and OASC exam for begin next week. Now we look at the preparation, how the schools them don't able for prepare the students there so for approach these particular exams, the syllabus then be able for go back into revision, try for refresh their memory them because then we don't sit on our house for long term.
Yeah, I mean, I think just to be clear, and part of the reason we people we make picking they know they done the syllabus. Firstly, we not been getting updated curriculum syllabus, not been the exam syllabus we been get. So now we get this framework and we update the syllabus and we try for change down there. Secondly, it means that people have been done syllabus anyway, with especially now with COVID. And with school open too, we engage the teacher there for making them optimize for focus on remedial and training. For Beke, because once they happen over 1 month, they're not able to go to school. So what we don't do now, the TSC don't optimize the radio teaching program for focus on the 4 core subjects then for Beke and actually don't change again back to radio teaching program. So if you're not Beke students, would they encourage you and invite you for listening to the radio teaching program, the education radio, And we get new schedule, and we'll begin popularize that new schedule there with the focus on Beke, because we know say Beke picking them within house for 1 month. In terms of WAS, unfortunately, in 5 weeks, now we've been get before the exam starts. The exam period for WAS, they across West Africa. So all 5 countries, they take the exam at the same time. So we'll not be able to change that. Now I make you see Nigeria been saying no, they take WAS, and then they open school. Then the 1 week they open for before they take WAS. And all man different. You know, they judge other people there. But Nigeria, and the 1 week they open for, and then they take the WAS, because as a region, we all take the exam at the same time.
Because that bring me to concern where people be done the race, but this was because now for the whole West African countries them became a bit used for the take them together, but the COVID and bokutin. So be the year say some countries and day now West Africa we already be don't sit this exam.
That's
so I
true.
go on for as a minister you confirm whether or not true say any country in West Africa don't take the WAS exam, because the questions are the same. Any country don't take them?
No. And we CEO, we now with chief exam nominee and the WAEC, actually they're always there in touch with them. Same exam period, same date, same paper. None of the 5 countries, then we in our WAEC member country, they don't take the exam. Same calendar. Like I say, now in Nigeria, not being they take, they're not being, but then change back, then they can't take. So Ghana, Nigeria, Liberia, Banjul, Gambia, and Saloon, we all take at the same time.
Taking you back to the NPSC exams yesterday, one thing will be outstanding at the issue of the social distancing, where most of the schools them be observed, especially the quietness and the environment outside the picking them they take the exams. The schools then be ensured say the parents then be far away from the environment outside the picking and they take class. And if you observe, then they be able for help the picking them a lot for concentrate. Some of them things they are so way as a minister you go say na good things them on a hope for continue them into the learning system.
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, this back I invite the people in the local council for really think about rules around Usai's school and day and the etiquette around there, and for engage the community. This is not council. I invite the councils and really. And I want to tell thank you to the Minister of Local Council. He actually is engaging people then for making support yesterday and them in there everywhere. I want for, 2 examples. Yesterday, I go to the school na Waterloo, larger center. Right near the school, somebody they play loud music. When you begin to take exam, loud. Like me being sitting there, I confused. They try for one day before I visited them was carry pass, but not to put the pass. So I go out, I go see the person who now one small picking, now they play the music. So I say, I beg, do you hot that music there? Hot, huh? I say, well, the big person at this host, the person where they come. So you know, say people that take exam over yonder. You look, you see them they take the exam yonder. It's saying brother, they take the exam. So, but if your brother they take exam, now you they left sit down, you can't play this loud music now, and then right across the street, immediately outside the window, almost somebody they sell SIM card Panda PA system. Then hotter, I tell them say that their responsibility. I think it comes back to civic responsibility. It comes back, you for know, say, now 5 hours is exam day. It like you want sell SIM card self now, 10 to pop. You go be at that 5 hours, they made them picking there, take the exam. You know, go put on the. So this is now local government, local council. Now then really for ensure, say, the schools there, and example, and they wash those side, they wash they go tell people there, make them move their markets there. But it's possible for me you get markets who not loud though. It's possible for me they play loud thing where to begin in at school. And then a responsibility for we all between the school management, the board, the invited board, for me then go whole meeting with the people the whole day. Because if you go see those then some go realize that day. Right. And in terms of the general planning, luckily, the the NPSC the NPSC now the biggest class, biggest exam, was not get beaucoup people in. And so I think so we will maintain social distancing in was a lot better than NPSC.
All right. Continue for the program, David. We will come back to you shortly.
We will look at other issues in the program. Now, the Minister of Energy, Alhaji Kanja Sisi, the new 415 kVA transformer where the ministry and empathy them don't put na Lester P go tap the plenty challenge them where different media hosts and community people be don't get access to electricity. Well, we report at Cheno Jalop in the where them been go put the transformer and they put this report together.
I'm going to press this, which now commissions formally this facility, this transformer, and then after that we'll put the generator off so that you see now that we're fully energized.
Now, so the Minister of Energy, Alhaji Kanja Sisi, been the commission a new 415 kVA transformer, where the Ministry of Energy, together with the Electricity Distribution Supply Authority, EDSA, go install and Lester Peak na the western area rural districts, as well for tap the past mark challenge with people in this community, more especially media hosts them will get transformer at this place, don't they forget access to better electricity. This come after the old transformer with the supply lights and this place we don't get problem. And this according to the Technical Service Director na EDSA, Cheno Jalop say, with this new 415 kVA transformer, media hosts them will begin get constant lights back.
Well, about 3 weeks ago, we launched this transformer here. It was a 315 kVA transformer that is feeding all these transmitters, as you can see. All the radio stations, the telecommunications, they all have their hub here. So because we lose it, and now we have replaced it with a 400 kVA transformer. And the brand new LVDB box, which we normally call LV panel, as you can all see. So this is important. It is here to serve all these telecommunications, as I actually said earlier. And all the radio stations, television stations, they all have their masts around this area.
When we talk, the Minister of Energy, Alhaji Kanja Sisi, this 415 kVA transformer, the ministry and partner them don't go install na Lester Peak. Go tap the past mark challenge with different media hosts and community people don't they get for do their work.
Basically, we are here to respond to the request of the media and the telecoms houses. Normally, we don't even wait for a request. Normally, as long as we identify a problem, which is what happened here, we just had the engineer. We had a 350 kV transformer here, and we got blown off. And because of that, it affected communications, it affected the media houses and all. So we now are replacing it with a bigger transformer. It's a 400 kV transformer, which has more space to take more facilities. And that's why we are here today. This is a project funded through a government of Sierra Leone and World Bank Corporation. We are trying to improve electricity generation, the quality of electricity in the township, in the entire western area. That's what we are doing.
Alhaji Kanja Sisi, continue for talk about the reason why make them transformer them here can get problem most of the time.
And we are particularly facing these kinds of problems, especially during the rainy season, through thunderstorms, through heavy storms, and they blow up these transformers, but also because of age. You know, they've really aged. And so there's a special project. I believe you must have noticed that we've been going all over the town, replacing transformers, replacing cables, replacing fallen poles and all. So it is within that project, that context, that we are doing this also today.
We immediately talk on behalf of media hosts them we get transformer up Lester Peak. The CEO and founder for Africa Young Voices Media Empire, Ambassador Anthony Navo, say from where this transformer been get problem, media hosts them they use plenty of copper for buy fuel we go use for run them different station them. And this is say now be one big challenge for them.
We have lots of radio stations, for example, AYV and 98, we co-locate at the same premises. And then you have FTN, Star TV, SLBC, and so many other radio stations. So when we had the power outages regarding the transmitter, we were very devastated. Running a media house 24 hours without electricity was a turning problem. If you've noticed, most of us have not been able to broadcast 24 hours because of fear.
Ambassador Anthony Navo ended up telling thank you to the Ministry of Energy for the intervention. As he said, with this transformer, that's going for tap the world media host them, meaning they spend plenty copper for buy fuel.
This is a huge relief to us. So on behalf of the media houses, we want to thank EDSA for their prompt response, because this has saved us a lot of fuel costs as I speak. So this is huge, and it is also unprecedented. The response time was just beyond norm.
As always, the Ministry of Energy, Mr. Musu, go commission one new 415 kVA transformer na Benguma inside Waterloo, na the western area rural district, inside the Minister of Energy, Alhaji Kanja Sisisi. This come as a result of the plenty concern with people in this community been done the raise for sake of the too much blackout where them be done the get. When we dey talk for sake of this, the chief instructor for the Armed Forces Training Center na Benguma, Lieutenant Colonel Aaron Robin, first start for explain what the challenge them where they get for get access to lights.
The change where they don't change this transformer and give a brand new one, now a very welcome idea for we. Because the previous transformer, they really give you a dick. That transformer, they go work 1 or 2 days, it broke down. We go to trace EDSA for the next 3, 4, 5 days, 1 week before they go come and fix them. So if we don't cry so then they don't come take that old one care and go and bring new one come, we one believe say the problem don't solve by God in power.
Lieutenant Colonel Aaron Robin end up say then go ensure say them provide better security for this transformer so that people no go come and thief parts them pan the transformer. For the Society for Radio Democracy, Mina Chegno Jalo, the report.
Alright, from that report today, we dey look at text messages then now wey una don send na the program this morning. The first one where they read is say, I agree with the minister. It is okay for the kids to fail, and the good thing is it gives people like Dr. Senge, the entire ministry and school authorities time to evaluate their learning approach. The ministry will engage the school authorities for better learning processes, and the school authorities will in turn engage parents and caregivers to inquire into what lead to the failure of their children. This they come out from John Conte.
This other message say, Mr. Minister, was for every chiefdom headquarter towns to have an exam center. It say Chief Moana of Kaila send a message there.
From Phileas Jusu, on our Facebook page, they say there was a video on social media yesterday showing a group of students from Yawi Chiefdom in Kailao walking about 20 miles to Bunumbu to take the NPSC. What plan has the ministry to establish an exam center in Yawi so that a whole chiefdom will not have to walk 20 miles in the rain to another location to take the NPSC?
This other one, they come out from Lansan Awatalo. They say, Mr. Minister, why does the ministry allow old people to sit the NPSC exam every year? This year, we saw an old woman take. Why?
This other one, they say it's about 2 years now into the free quality education agenda of the new direction government. What is your appraisal of success and challenges, Mr. Minister?
This other message says, Mr. Minister, the special needs schools have not received their subvention since January. What is happening?
Saidu Zito, on our Facebook page, they say, Mr. Minister, please try to be putting things in place so monitors and supervisors from your ministry will be visiting hard-to-reach schools. There can truly be identified the real challenges facing education, especially in public examinations.
This other one from Freddie Kindolo Yavana on Facebook on the issue of the EDSA story we just air. It say EDSA actually is working very hard and doing well. The maintenance team must be very active in responding to problems. I live at Wilkinson Road, close to the supermarkets. We have been without electricity for days now as a result of motor accidents. Please help.
This one they say from Simba J. Cole, our Facebook page. Mr. Minister of Education, are you willing to truly support the Spelling Bee program on SLBC, or there is someone else who wants to take over the right from Ms. Harding?
This is a message from Abbas Jal on our Facebook. It says, Mr. Minister, what about the issue of the NPSC exam picnic when parents can make food as a symbol of concern to their teachers for help the picking in a class?
From Floxy Flox, on our Facebook page, they say, I think the system of repeating should be abolished and introduce potential allocation, meaning identifying what potential they have and then put them through that studies or training to develop that potential. All right, from their messages then there, we can now to we studio guests, we now the Minister of Education, Dr. David Senge, for respond.
Thank you. Actually, I'll start with the last comment. Meta posting day, and I invite everybody for Read with Curriculum Framework. We're there online. If you go to mbsse.gov.sl, you see what policy then. Meta read the curriculum framework and see actually which would they propose. Already they address this idea of competencies and skills we begin to get. There's also the perception say we know they're going to remote areas, which is not true. Even me, over the last 4 or 5 weeks, I'm going to deep remote areas and engage schools. My PS, they currently in the provincial districts, my director of planning, they far into Kailang, people in the far up north. We get people there everywhere in this country, including village there. We get people in there with DD, TSC, DD, MBSSC, with supervisor there. They're everywhere. So this idea that, cities today, it's actually not true. And in terms of perception, thankfully with the mobile phone, we see and monitor everything what is happening all across the country in real time. In terms of results, I'm not going to give date, but I'll ask. I think say generally within a month or soon after a month, MPSC will be available. But it will be available in time for when school will reopen once we agree on when that date's will be. The point about exam center in every chiefdom headquarter town, I'll go engage. I'll bring that. Thank you for that suggestion. I'll bring that back to my team and see how we'll make Medande happen. But exam center, not to just somebody decides the exam center. You need to get a credible space. You need and this not make like the people of Falaba town. They're not just say one exam center, then consider. Then say we'll provide for the security for the people that we can. We'll provide lodging. We'll provide feeding for the WIAC. We'll support una. We will make sure say the security day you need all things and they in place for make me we able to provide exam center for me WIAC able conduct the exam. So the chief, I invite you for make that proposition with your councillor, with the parliamentarian, and provide and they assure say WIAC go listen. In terms of inclusion, so I want to talk about 2 levels of inclusion. One, just access and reach. Now, Guinea, Salon picking in the Guinea, the government, they pay for them take exams, all 3 exams. And in terms of physical and cognitive disability, I should say the supervisor and we did are trained for do this. People in within the specific disability schools, they take exam and they get candidates. And we obviously they make preparation for that and them. In terms of successes over 2 years, look, they change national examination outcomes in 2 years like that. This is now we second exam. So last year you can't because it takes 6 years to prepare for that exam, and it takes 3 years to prepare for Beke and 3 years for WAS. But I still believe, say, this year they do better because some of the things they will do. I talk about the Education Innovation Challenge. I talk about teacher training. I talk about the radio teaching program. I talk about what in TSC do with the work with GPE. I actually believe, say, we'll do better. There's data, what they show, say, and the way if they talk about quality outcomes, the place where you know, say, quality they improve, now in the worst performing schools. Because if school they Freetown or Bowie, like, we they do well, and they always get 90% pass rate, they see impact. But if school they will nobody one day pass day, then 1, 2, 3 picking them pass day, then the 9 day begin like a reflection of the change in quality. And even just last year, we begin to see so the worst performing schools don't begin to do well. And I sure say this year that number they will be different. And I saw the measure quality at the broader scale. Now with the worst performing and most marginalized, most outwards. And I believe, say, this year, even with the emergency, we will begin for demonstrate, say, free quality education. Not so just that we increase enrollment rate by over 50% in SSS and about 30% in JSS, about similar amount in, not just that, but that we begin to see the learning outcomes as measured at this point by the examination rates, the transition rates, the number of repeaters are going to begin to improve. And 99, phenomenal. And even at the pre-primary level, we already see that as we create more ECD classes, more picking in the transition better into class 1 and class 2, and as then the transition and get the fundamentals, hopefully the learning outcomes will be better. So I actually feel excited and enthusiastic, but we still can do more. And so I invite the mama there, I invite the papa there, I invite the granny there for engage. The point about the old person who they take exam,
Yes.
I not see that there as a minus. I think it's phenomenal. It should say we can always learn. In terms of safety of the beginning and the psychological, it depends on the person. But we as a ministry get a non-formal education unit, and we get community learning centers where we put people in the land, and we get adult education, and we adult education partner then also available.
So they encourage them for the go na the inside and the
Yes.
instead of
Yes.
mainstream we picking in there.
Not for the young good, because if you go adult education, you know it takes 6 years. So because what's in the person want to do now, you want to be literate.